Mike's more into the symbology of numbers.
Exactly. Symbologyism, we call it.
I think I took that course.
Yep.
One time. I didn't do well. I'm not much of a symbologist, but
I mean, it helps for numbers, obviously, but I can identify letters, brand logos.
What about traffic sign shapes?
Traffic sign shapes, messages from hobos as to whether there's good food there or that a dangerous man is inside, an untrustworthy man.
A giving widow.
Yeah, a giving widow. Hopefully that means
I merely meant giving with her extra food.
That's hobo talk. I apologize. That is hobo talk.
What's the umbrella term that hobos and bums and others, like other classifications that probably aren't appropriate anymore, fall under? I mean, are they all
transients?
Transient are vagrants? Yeah. Vagrants, maybe?
Wayward drifter.
Ooh,
drifter.
Yeah.
I think a drifter is maybe a subcategory, though, of the vagrant.
I feel like a drifter has to be a serial killer.
Incredible Hulk was a drifter.
How many people did he kill?
You can find yourself in a town and get into an adventure is also a drifter. You don't have a lot of money. You're definitely broke, but you can be, yes, people are going to get killed, but sometimes it is going to always they're going to get killed, but it's not necessarily exclusively good people. It's not like a serial killer. Yes, drifter.
Right.
Serial killer can kill bad people. What about Dexter?
Dexter's stupid in a dumb show, and people who like it are dumb and stupid.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, people do kind of overrate that show, don't they?
It's not good.
No,
it is not good.
It's like to some people, the central premise is so strong that it just carries them through multiple seasons of procedural crime
stories. Come on, it's going to get good if you just keep watching for 6 seasons.
Right. I would allow, and I haven't watched enough of it, but I've seen enough of it to know it's just a collection of dumb.
Is it better or worse than 6 Feet Under?
I don't know. We're supposed to like 6 Feet Under a whole bunch too.
I know that show was real big for a while. Now it's an older show.
Hey, Mark, cut this out.
Mark, yeah. When Mark comes on, we need to act like we are just now starting because we've been waiting for him. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Cox told me I had the deepest voice on the show, and I was like, what? No.
Has he heard you giggle?
Yeah.
I think he doesn't understand. I have the widest range on the show.
Oh my God. Jesus fucking
That's
Christ.
Probably true.
That was horrifying.
This might be getting ahead of myself, but that makes me think of a Halloween episode where it's just creepy stories and you cackle a lot.
Ooh, I'm up for that. I would need more range, though, in my delivery, which tends to be really stiff in order to do that.
Well,
I don't know.
That's what a corpse's delivery is. Stiff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know.
I love that stuff. You guys are bringing it tonight.
I hope that, I'm just hoping the Halloween discussion makes it onto the show. The Halloween discussion we're having in June.
Well, it's a fun holiday.
It's a fun holiday. It's one of the most powerful pagan holidays that we celebrate as a people, as an American people. You got Halloween. You've got
4th of July.
You got 4th of July. That's when we celebrate the idea that the sky could engulf in flames if
apocalypse worship.
Arbor Day.
Yes, Arbor Day is the day that we celebrate the idea that plants could take over human forms and we could all be walking fungus at some point. And then there's also my birthday, which is celebrated world round by
number 4. Yeah.
I did get recognized for INS. I mean, I already know the person, and I don't think they were that. I did have a person come up that I did not know was a listener come up and say how much they like the podcast.
Wait, was this your wife?
No, my wife has never listened to the podcast, and I highly doubt she ever will. She is not interested in my doings for the most part.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mike.
Yeah, no, it's painful. It's pretty painful.
You know what? You do need the support of one listener.
I do. Exactly. Make up for my wife.
Yeah.
Make up for my cruel wife.
Right. That could be your cup of coffee.
Yes.
Maybe that should be what it is. Buy Mike a cup of coffee.
Ooh.
Buy Mike a cup of coffee and make him feel again.
Yeah. Not anyway, just feel in general. Just feel.
Anyway, what's up with the news?
Yeah, let's talk about the news. What do you say?
Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
Well, welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I am Brian Camp.
And I'm Mike Wiebe, the specter of the night.
Wait, were we supposed to have titles this week?
I have a title every week. I sometimes forget it, but mostly I have a title. I'm going to start tiddling myself.
Don't do that during the show. Wait until after.
Yeah, that's what got my buddy Tubin kicked off the thing.
I have a question about that. Was he just nude, or was he nude, erect, and masturbating? Like,
He was, full mast, working it. No diggity.
Really?
Yeah. I legitimately feel sorry for that guy.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be embarrassed for the rest of my life because of that.
Well, I mean, it's an easy thing to avoid, I think.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Was it a surprise meeting? Did he just? It's like,
No, I think he just didn't know. Like, he just went to a different window, and I think the meeting was over, but somebody left it on, or everybody hadn't logged. I mean, I've never done that, but I definitely have logged out and just, said something, stupid, unrelated, just
right.
logged out and just been like, fucking meeting, and then see that everybody's out, but it was still on, whatever, where which is obviously a lot, less than that. But
How quickly did he begin to masturbate then?
you want to see how quick I can do it?
No.
There's a big controversy right now. There's a cartoon called Harley Quinn about
I heard about this
Batman character, and she apparently in this new episode, this animated show, this kind of like a R-rated animated show, they either imply or show that Batman was going down on Catwoman, and then DC Comics came in and said you can't show that because I guess that's not a heroic thing, that Batman doesn't eat pussy, that there was this statement that was you are not allowed, you can't show Batman eating pussy. But I, as a guy, as a lifelong Batman fan, a man who has every single movie on Blu-ray, every single action figure that they've ever created, posters, I've got signed scripts, I've got.
Wait, signed by who?
By the cast. I've got every piece of Batman merchandise, and I've collected it for years. My only question is, what is eating pussy?
That was worth the trip, Mike.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that they did it. I would understand if does DC not review all the stuff that goes out underneath their banner?
It looks like all the other animated DCs, that same style of animation,
right.
But I turned it on once and it was just fuck you, and Harley Quinn says fuck a bunch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it is a weird, a weird line to draw. And apparently I guess the creators must have gone look what they're doing. See, now over at Marvel, they're trying to get their characters to eat ass.
So our first story comes to us from the New York Times.
Oh, the paper of record.
Mm-hmm.
Since at least March 2020, A herd of 15 elephants has been traveling north across China, and no one can seem to figure out why. Over the past year, the herd has traveled more than 300 miles from its home in a southwest China nature reserve that borders Laos and Myanmar.
Burma.
Also Burma. Also Siam, right?
Precocious Pachyderms push their way to Peking. Perhaps a party they will participate in.
Traveled back in time again, sir.
That's why if that headline wasn't that, then I don't want to. Fucking, they need to hire me over at the paper of record to write their headlines.
Yeah, the headline was, a herd of 15 elephants is wandering north across China, and nobody
What
knows
happened
why.
to fucking artistry?
Recently, the elephants have been seen on the outskirts of Kunming, a city which is home to 8.5 million people.
Damn.
The elephants have reportedly eaten over $1 million worth of crops. At least one was reported drunk after eating fermented grain. And they've eaten truckloads of corn and pineapple that the government left out, hoping to divert them away from populated areas like this one. One theory for this migration is overcrowding. There are only 300 Asian elephants left in China, so they're a protected species, but their Southwest China Nature Reserve saw a population boom in recent years. These elephants may be searching for a new area with less competition for resources. But other experts theorize that this may be the result of an inexperienced leader leading the herd astray.
Hey, that's sort of like our country.
I was thinking that was me every time I was in charge. But yeah, also,
I will say the other thing I thought too was like, well, this would never happen in America because our fucking dipshit president's kid would go out and fucking shoot them all.
He's not the president anymore, Mike. That time is over.
I was thinking he meant any president's kid.
Stop the steal.
You're hanging on for August, huh? You're ready.
It's all part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
What a brilliant player.
The storm is coming. Right. The most complex, needlessly complex plan ever.
There's people out there that still like legit believe that, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are, but I think a lot of it is just grievance. Just pissed off people. Like, I'm just going to believe something stupid because it triggers everybody else, even though I'm the one who's just crying all the time.
It was the most authentic Kevin voice I've heard on this podcast.
Finally.
Oh, that's it.
That's the voice I don't use for the podcast.
The real Kevin.
I don't want to be walking down the street and get recognized for my voice.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe these elephants are all part of the plan then. Maybe this is all...
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
These are from China.
Right.
Ooh.
Something's happening that's not exactly what we expect to see. It must be part of Trump's genius.
Yes. And what is the mascot for the Republican Party?
Exactly.
But a elephant.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a weird thing though that the mascot for the Republican Party is a animal that is very not indigenous to like this like fear, but this whole continent, you know?
Well, Mike, I go to the circus all the time, and they got elephants all the time.
They came rampaging over from China.
Right. They came across the land bridge 30 years ago.
Chinese authorities have instructed residents to stay inside if elephants are nearby.
You know what though? I recommend that for y'all too.
Americans?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
if there's elephants outside, stay inside.
And also, like elephants and Americans, avoid disturbing the herd and ensure, this is the most important part, ensure no corn or salt is left outside.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just Elephant 101. The problem is, corn, salt, that's popcorn, my friend.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Is there a chance that these elephants have been created in a lab and they're going to be sent over here? Why don't we report that?
Do they have COVID? Did they eat bats? They're bat-eating elephants.
If we reversed global warming and the land bridge was recreated because of the rising ice, the ocean levels would descend and there would be another land bridge between Asia and North America, and these elephants that are already traveling north could easily get to that bridge and come over to Alaska and infect our shores.
Maybe that's their plan. I think the elephant's plan is to continue eating all the food that's just being left out for them. I don't think there's any inexperienced leader here at all. I think they've just figured out all we got to do is keep walking around, and these yahoos are going to put out corn and salt. We love popcorn, right, Mike?
Yeah, they love it. Love it.
Why not just put out some funnel cakes, see what happens?
Yeah, this elephant leader does not sound like a bad leader. He sounds like a firebrand, like a real disruption. He's causing a lot of disruption in the pachyderm community.
I believe elephants are matriarchal.
What the fuck does that mean?
That means they're led by an alpha female.
So, Mike, do you think maybe they're just lost?
Hey, a zing! Oh boy. Oh.
So, if the elephants can't be turned back to the nature reserve, scientists and land managers will need to find a way for the elephants to live permanently in whatever area they do choose to settle.
No one's ever figured out how to move a whole 15 elephants from one place to another.
Yeah.
They're like a super protected species in China, so you can't do anything to them. You just have to go like, yeah, no, okay, eat my crop.
Scientists can't go help them, and nature conservationists can't go help them.
No,
I might have to rethink my take on working with China on my feature films.
Right.
If this is the kind of like haphazard organization that we're going to be dealing with, maybe I don't go over there to make another Fast and the Furious movie.
Right. As much, I'm glad that the Chinese government is as concerned as they are about 15 elephants, but maybe they could spare some of those elephant tears for the whole populations they're wiping out in camps. Maybe that's something they could do.
Well, how come I haven't? I don't know about this stuff. This is not. And again, I am happy that they're financing some feature films I'm working on. So I don't take that. I'm just opening up for the idea of a discussion about elephants.
All right.
Oh shit! Hey, we can get started now.
Hey, let's start finally.
For the listener, Mark has just joined us.
How are we doing, Mark?
Doing great.
Your audio is going through your computer, not through your mic.
I know. I'm trying to fix it.
Okay.
Hello, Dana.
Hello, Dana.
I see half of Dana.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm excited for Wednesday.
Why is that?
Because the podcast comes out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
What did I miss?
Mike's continued investment in the Chinese film industry.
It's a global market. That's all I'm saying. It's a global market. I'm making art and I want to get my art in front of people. Okay. I'm not out here to I'm not like some people where like, oh, I just want the right people to like the thing that I make. I want everyone to like it. Uh-huh. That means a lot of revenue from a certain area. Is that a bad thing?
Right. Well, wouldn't there be more revenue to go around if they quit exterminating their people?
I mean, what is the response from Hollywood on that, though, for real? Is they're just kind of like, hey, come on. I mean, yes, you're right. Totally. Bad.
Right. But we need to make money.
Yes, they're very focused on, they love domestic issues that they can focus on. I bring it up a lot. Well, because Mike won't stop extolling the greatness of the Chinese government and everything.
I didn't say they were great. I just said
were talking about Chairman Mao.
I never talked about Chairman Mao. People say politics, stay in your lane, and guess what? I'm staying in my lane. I'm just up there making these big budget spectacles to make people feel a little bit better about their lives. The way I help the world is by giving people a rugged action hero who can make them feel like they just beat the bad guy. Because that's the kind of movies I make, They make you feel like you could beat the bad guy. When you watch me beat up a bad guy, you think, I'm like him. I could beat. I mean, I'm not, toned and cut and I don't have the same witty repartee as him. But I feel like when I watch him, I can feel like I could beat the bad guy.
Who did you beat up?
On film?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of skeletons in one movie.
That's right.
They were skeletons from another dimension, and they were called backward skeletons because they came from forward in time.
Wow.
So they were all walking back. I had to fight a legion of backward skeletons.
It's like bizarro skeletons, or just
backward skeletons. That doesn't. And listen, just because they're backwards did not make them any less deadly. Especially in the quantum realm.
Is that where you fought the backward skeletons?
In the middle, in the climax of the film, they all came into our reality, which was called the regular realm.
Did you have to fight them backwards?
Yes, yeah, that happens.
You figured it out.
This is the best part of the movie. I have to team up with myself. Regular Jack Wharton has to team up with backwards Jack Wharton. That's part of the Jack Wharton trilogy.
What was the name of that movie again?
What was it? There's a whole. Is that which Jack Wharton movie is that?
That was Jack Wharton in the Plains of Fire.
I think that was the best one.
I hear that one's good.
It's classic. People, we won best sound design at the Crumb Texas Film Festival.
at J&J's or JB's? Which one?
JB's. They shot it. Yeah, they shot it. All
right, that's
good.
Of
JB's.
Yeah. The Crumb said the home of Jack Wharton.
Home of Jack Wharton, yeah.
Home of Jack Wharton.
Well, his character, when we wrote his character, we made him. We wanted to make him a Texas guy, and a lot of times for the movie, he'll reference. He'll punch a night walker or a specter ghoul or a backward skeleton, and then he'll beat up a few, and he's like, "They don't make them like this back in Crumb."
Does he ever say Crumb, Texas, or is there just an expectation that the audience knows that?
Well, we established that in the first movie and in the novellas.
Yeah.
So is this an analogy for the rivalry between J&J's and JB's?
Yeah, I mean there's like some Easter eggs, that playful Easter eggs that kind of do that. That's for like the that's for the hardcore Wharton heads, though. They get that, but it's a movie that anybody can watch, including people that don't speak English. I'm not saying where they're from, but they don't speak English, and they just can follow the colors and the punching and the kicking and the explosions and the skeletons and the bog beast and then a couple. Let's just there's some spicy love scenes. A couple spicy love scenes
with backward skeletons, or with a different. Does Jack Wharton ever develop an emotional attachment to any of the backwards deceased future villains?
No, well, there's a backwards skeleton dog that he ends up befriending.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that it carries on into the third movie. So everywhere he goes, there's the skeleton of a dog who walks backwards with him where they go. And the whole thing, people like the dog it says rough backwards, so it goes fur. That's kind of like that's probably why you see all the t-shirts and stuff, and it just says fur really big with 2 R's.
Damn it! That should have been the sticker that you get.
Yeah,
skeleton dog saying fur.
Fur. A skeleton dog backwards that says fur. That's kind of, and we had toys. We had there's a whole campaign.
So our next story comes from The Drive.
Oh, which one?
Mulholland.
Well, like there's streets, there's avenues, there's boulevards, there's drives, and I think we just want to know which drive you're talking about.
There's circles, there's
drive.
lanes, there's lanes.
Yes, there's places, there's trails,
Roundabouts. Like,
coves.
like driving a car. It's called the Drive. It's an automobile website and blog. In 1955, James Dean was killed in a head-on collision while behind the wheel of his Porsche 550 Spider. He'd owned the car for just 9 days and nicknamed it Little Bastard.
Was he buckled in?
I'm sure he was not. In fact, this is just a side note. This wasn't in the story. But when Alec Guinness first saw the car, he told James Dean to never drive it and if he did drive it, he would be dead within the week. And the next week, that was on a Friday, and the next Friday he had the accident.
It sounds like a murder. It sounds like
Alec Guinness.
that was a threat.
Or Alec Guinness used the Force.
Oh, to kill James. That sounds like the dark side.
Alec Guinness played Obi-Wan Kenobi. Honestly, a little bit of the reason I got into acting was to make big spectacles like the Star Wars movie starring Alec Guinness. That's kind of what got me into, I was like, I need a character that everyone remembers. Like a Obi-Wan Kenobi or a Luke Skywalker or a Han Solo or a Chewbacca or a Princess Leia or a Boba Fett or a Lando Calrissian, R2D2 or a C-3PO or a Greedo or a Jabba the Hutt or a Hammerhead or a Salacious Crumb. I think that signals why I should stop that.
Damn.
So reportedly, Little Bastard carries a curse.
Is it little or lil?
It's little. But yeah, so reportedly the car is cursed. For example, the front and rear suspension from the car wreck were fitted to another 550 Spider. That car crashed during a race, killing the driver. But in the same race, another car was fitted with Little Bastard's engine, and it hit a patch of gravel, injuring the driver and taking the car out of the race. Also, the body of the car was placed on public display, and it was involved in a barn fire. A transport truck driver was killed while transporting it, and it once reportedly fell off its stand and injured onlookers. Nevertheless, Little Bastard's cursed transaxle recently came up for auction on a website called Bring a Trailer.
It sounds like they need to burn some sage. Didn't we learn that's a good way to...
Appraisers believed Little Bastard's transaxle would sell for a lot, but everyone was surprised by the final bid. Do you guys want to take a guess at what the final bid?
$1.2 million.
Mike?
I'm gonna go $1.
So you think Brian has overbid?
Oh, motherfucker.
Well, it looks like Mike's going to the Showcase Showdown because the winning bid was $382,000.
Well, they got a steal for a transaxle.
It'd be just cooler to like get his jacket or something.
Well, he doesn't have a cursed jacket.
Burnt and covered in...
Well, he probably had some... He didn't have all his jackets in the car with him, right?
He drove around with just a big bag of jackets. It was his calling card.
Yeah.
Sorry, baby, I can't give you a ride. It's just me and my jacket.
I never know when it's gonna be chilly. This weather's tearing me apart.
The winning bidder was Zach Baggins, host of the Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures.
Bilbo's brother.
Who?
Breaking cars and breaking places, that's what Zach Baggins hates. Transactals that come off late, that's what Zach Baggins hates.
He plans to put it in his Las Vegas museum called Zach Baggins's The Haunted Museum.
Filthy Bagginses. Bagginses steal my transaxle. Oh, Bagginses.
Where it will be displayed alongside Dr. Kevorkian's 1968 Volkswagen van and David Koresh's 1968 Camaro.
is the van or the Camaro said to be cursed?
I'm guessing David Koresh, we
Maybe.
kind of had a seedy rock star thing about him, but guessing he's got a pretty good Camaro.
Is that how he picked up all his followers in that hot Camaro?
One at a time.
Hey, you guys wanna die for Jesus? I guess Kevorkian just ran a garden hose from the exhaust to the front. It really, his suicide machine really wasn't that complex at all. It was just his Volkswagen van and a garden hose.
Like, I appreciate true crimey ephemera stuff, but I can't imagine like what world any of this would be cool to have. Like, that, not even more than that. Any world where any of this stuff is not a massive pain in the ass to have,
Oh yeah.
You mean any cursed item?
Yeah, I guess any cursed item, but especially like a giant cursed item, a shitty, like, these are all either unusable car parts or shitty cars. Like, why? And they're not cool, It's not like the Lamborghini that Vin Diesel used to get blown in or something like that. At least, that's kind of gross or whatever, but it's still a Lamborghini.
68 Camaro is kind of a cool car.
Yeah.
But if David Koresh owned it, there's fucking stains all in there.
Oh yeah. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting like sex stains or like ketchup stains and mustard?
Ketchup. Probably some masturbation stains too, like some, sex adjacent stains, but just all types of human fluid, honestly. He slept in there.
Right. Probably chewed tobacco. There's probably like spit cup.
Ashtrays are still full.
Yeah. Of merits.
I don't know. Where does it stop?
A fiery end in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this. What does CNN stand for? That's where I found this next story.
Clinton News Network.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
lock her up.
So I just want to say thanks, Chris. A Cape Cod man was recently lobster diving off the coast of Provincetown, Massachusetts. When he, let me just quote him here. He said, quote,
"So Kevin, we haven't really done this in a while.
Yes,
you and it's probably for the best. But
yeah,
people in Massachusetts have a very discernible accent, and that was you've been putting in at least a little bit of effort.
That sounded like someone who lived in a very landlocked place. Yeah,
I don't know if I can do a Massachusetts accent.
I'm excited about this.
All right.
I am ready and raring for this. Here we go. Oof. Cape Cod, that's where those chips come from. And the drink.
And it's for Jaws.
Red leather, yellow letter. Red leather, yellow letter. Okay. Sunshine City. I got down to about 45 feet of water, and all of a sudden, I felt this huge bump, and everything went dark. And I could sense that I was moving, and I was like, oh my gosh, did I just get bit by a shark? Then I felt around and I realized there was no teeth, and I felt really no great pain.
That fucking Thurston Howell.
That sounded like Cameron on Ferris Bueller's Day Off trying to imitate a grown-up on the phone.
Oh, hold on, we've got more. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm in a whale's mouth. I'm in a whale's mouth, and he's trying to swallow me. Unquote.
Where do you think Thurston Howell's from?
Have you ever met someone from Massachusetts?
Lovely.
He just fell off the minnow.
The man who is still wearing his scuba tank added, one of the things that went through my mind was just, oh my God, what if he does swallow me? And here I am, I'm breathing air, and I'm going to breathe in this whale's mouth until my air runs out. However, after about 30 seconds in the whale's mouth, the whale surfaced and spit him out.
Oh, it was nice to surface first. That was helpful.
I don't believe this guy's fucking story. I think he's full of shit.
Well, so
There it is.
the man was pulled out of the water by one of his crewmates, rushed ashore, and taken to a nearby hospital where he was treated for bruises and a broken leg. Biologist Duke Robbins, the director of humpback whale studies.
Oh, come on.
Duke Robbins, that's the name of one of the characters in the Jack Wharton series.
We probably worked with this biologist.
That's my scientist that I'm always reaching out to. Duke.
That's where you get all your gear from Duke, right?
What's this thing? Well, be like, I'll go in there and go like, what's this? Just an old baseball bat, Duke? Oh, no, that's no baseball bat at all. That baseball bat, if you think about baseball bat can take you back in time, that's a baseball bat. It translates better to Chinese.
Oh, okay. But so biologist Duke Robbins, director of humpback whale studies at Provincetown Center for Coastal Studies, said it was unlikely the whale could have actually swallowed him. And
whales are super prude.
Oh my God.
What a great thing to yell out.
Adding, quote, "We don't really see humpback whales doing anything like this normally. I think it was a surprise to all involved."
Is it the same guy?
Yeah, sure.
Did other people see him get eaten by this whale?
Well, they saw him get spit out. His crew members. He was a professional. Like this, it's something they do like professionally. And so when you're a lobster diver, there's a guy on the boat who specifically watches your air bubbles, so he knows where you're at in case you get trapped or have some kind of emergency.
Did this guy recently defy God? Is this
I'm not saying he's a modern Jonah, but he's a modern Jonah.
Anyway, maybe we should go to the next story. Maybe that's...
Our last story comes to us from the Associated Press.
AP.
After a 1-year hiatus due to COVID-19, organizers of the annual Philly Naked Bike Ride recently announced they will hold this year's event on August 28th.
That's 2 days after my birthday. Don't you fucking hate it when people do that? When you just like... this is the worst thing in the world to me, when people are just so freaked out that something happens near their birthday. It is the fucking goofiest thing in the world when you're just like, you go like, my birthday's August 26th. And then somebody like, oh my God, my cousin's birthday is August 9th. Okay.
Mike, I'm marking on my calendar. Don't worry. Message received. I have documented your date of birth.
I hope the listeners have too.
No. While the event invites participants to be as, quote, bare as you dare, this year's event will not be totally nude. Participants will be required to wear a mask. Participants typically number in the thousands and begin the event by meeting in a park, stripping down, and then painting each other up. The course is 10 miles long and takes riders past Independence Hall, the Liberty Bell, and the Philadelphia Museum of Art's steps that were featured in the Rocky movies. Organizers say the event is held to promote positive body image, advocate for the safety of cyclists, and protest dependence on fossil fuels.
I've been trying to be more body positive lately. I'm positive my body's disgusting. Zing! Oh boy. COVID weight. Yay! I would like to see all the naked people have to roll down the rocky stairs.
Be jiggly.
When you are a kid, you hear about something like this and go, ooh, nudity, that sounds great. But then get a little bit older and you see a couple episodes of Real Sex, HBO's Real Sex, and you realize like, oh, most nudity is actually a truly horrific thing and should be avoided. And I am willing to wager that there is nobody that's putting their bare buttholes down on a bicycle seat that I want to see nude.
This is the town that brought us the false 500-foot Philly cheesesteak. So I'm sure
that is true.
It's just going to be a bunch of folks sweating out cheese, I guess. I don't know.
Bunch of nude weirdos with their balls and vages rubbing all over a seat, just driving down the street, and then some idiots on the side, like instead of handing them little cups of water, handing them full meat hoagies.
Right.
Getting all greasy, trying to eat them and drive them.
Right. And sawmill gravy.
Yeah.
Here's a cup of gravy.
Well, I mean, you know, what can we say other than Philadelphia?
They're known for a movie that was made there.
Exactly.
Yeah. You mean Rocky?
That's the one. They got that bell with a crack in it, right? That's still there. They fucked that up.
I still haven't fixed it.
They had a job and they broke it. Thanks, Philadelphia.
Thanks, Philly. You know what, though? There's a lot you could make fun of Philadelphia, but they did give us Gritty, and I love Gritty.
Who's Gritty?
Gritty?
Yeah, the Philadelphia Flyers
He's
mascot.
got crazy eyes. He looks insane.
Well, maybe I might come around on Philadelphians, so this is entertaining.
Yeah.
I do like I think a crazy mascot says a lot about.
Yeah, can you see him here on the right side?
Oh, that guy's great.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like half of Mr. Snuffleupagus. Oh, he skates too?
Yeah. The cool thing about him too is like if he turns around real quick, like the apparatus in his eyes, his like eyeballs go like go in circles. He's really great.
Well, that is a big plus in the pro column for Philadelphia.
Gritty, I'm just gonna go ahead and to solve this case. I think that Gritty and the Philly Fanatic Gritty and the Philly Fanatic make up for any gnarly nudity.
Bike ride's okay. The cheesesteak thing though is still
gross.
Still a disaster. It's only 10 miles. And it's probably cool up there. They're probably not sweating that much.
I mean, whatever.
And maybe it's more of a thin gravy they're drinking and not a thickened sawmill gravy. So,
yeah.
What do you think it's like an au jus to dip their
an au jus, right?
Dip their cheesesteak
in.
Well, I think that wraps up another week in the International News Service.
We did it.
Do you think?
Yeah. Feel free to rate, review, subscribe, and tell somebody about us because we love doing this show. But we want, we're doing it for people. We're doing it because we want people to love us.
Can I do some plugs real quick?
Oh, yeah. What do you got to plug, Mike?
If you live in Austin, Texas, I am having a monthly comedy show. It's going to be the first Thursday of every month. It's called Excelsior, and it is at the Buzzmill Coffee Shop off East Riverside, 8:00, free to get in. July 3rd, I'm also performing there, doing some music with a band called the Pine Hill Haints, and then me and Ian are doing an acoustic thing.
Oh, right on.
And then July 4th, the Draculas are playing at Little Darlin in Austin, Texas. It's all going down that weekend. Come on out.
So, Mike, just to clarify, in July, every Thursday you have a comedy thing you're putting on at the Buzzmill?
No. The first Thursday of every month from here on out. So the first Thursday of July, first Thursday of August.
So July 1st,
October,
August 5th,
November, then the first Thursday of December, then the first Thursday of January, and it'll continue like that. I don't know if you know how the months proceed, but if you have a calendar or whatever, just like flip through that first Thursday. Go, oh, that's Mike's doing a comedy show that night.
That's Canada Day.
Oh, is it really?
July 1st.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll be hard for me to pick which event to go to with all the Canada Day parties happening. That's tough.
If anybody has any more stories they'd like to submit, like Chris Potter, you can reach out to us on social media. We're at International News Pod pretty much anywhere, or internationalnewspod@gmail.com. Also, check out our merch store. We have, INS Pod at Redbubble. All right, I think we did it, guys.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.